Arguably the most effective thing that you can do to fast track your wealth, to increase your net worth and at an exponential rate, is to increase your pension contributions. I'm going to go back and say, actually, when I said arguably is the fastest thing, I'm going to take out the word arguably and say it is the best thing, the fastest thing that you can do to grow your net worth. Now, the reason being, I will explain this. You should increase your pension contributions to the maximum that your company will match. It might not make sense to you, so I will explain. Your company here in the UK, and I'm sure, so in the UK we have pensions, and in America I think they have something called the 401k, which is the same thing, I believe. So a pension is offered to you by your employer. It is against the law for them to not offer this to you. It is against the law for them to actually talk down the option of you having a pension. So if your employer says to you, you say, I want a pension, I want to contribute into my pension, and they say, that's not a good idea, that is against the law. They're not allowed to say that. They're not allowed to discourage you from getting a pension. So your employer should offer you a pension. It is the law. They have to do this. A pension usually works where you put a percentage of your salary into your pension, so you are saving for your future. As standard, there is an automatic enrollment in the UK. You should be automatically enrolled when you start any employment. Depending on your age, we'll not get into that, but generally most people should be automatically enrolled into their pension. You will contribute 3% of your salary into your pension. The benefits of that contribution is your employer will also contribute money into the same pension, and it also comes with tax relief. So you should make those pension contributions. Now you should be going to your employer and asking your employer, do I pay into my pension? Yes, you should be. It's the law. So that one they should say yes. But if no, they need to make that happen now, straight away. 2, you need to ask them, what is the maximum that I can pay into my pension that you will match? So for example, if you are paying 3% into your pension and your employer is also paying 3% into your pension as well, this is the match. They've matched your contribution percentage. So if you increase this percentage to 5 or 10%, are they going to increase it to 5 and 10%? Now there will be a limit to this. I'm sure there will be a limit, and they may not increase it any more than the base automatic enrollment. So they could tell you, we don't match it any more than you're already paying. And if that's the case, then that is fine. At least you know you are already at the optimal contribution. But if your employer says, yes, we will match it up to 5%, 7 or 10%, or whatever it is, what's the maximum that they will match it to, you need to go and match that. You need to go and match that now, straight away, without delay. If your employer says, okay, there's only a certain window throughout the year, which my employers have done for me in the past, they used to say it's in November, for example, this is the only time that you can change this. So if you're not watching this in that window, you need to set reminders in your calendar. Every single day during that period, during that window where you can make that change, you are going to create a reminder in your calendar on your phone, on your emails. You will not miss this, it will happen. So you need to create reminders to make that change where you will maximize your contribution into your pension to match what your employer will pay as a maximum match. So you have to do this. This is hugely important. This is the biggest thing you can do to increase your net worth. It's massive. The way I like to see it is, if you put £100 into your pension on payday and your employer puts £100 into your same pension on payday, you have now £200. You have just doubled your money instantly. Now, one of, or arguably the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett. What a legend. I love the guy. But Warren Buffett, if you presented Warren Buffett with the option of having a 100% return on his investment instantly, he would snap your hand off for that. I believe his return is somewhere in around the 30% mark throughout his life on an annual basis, which is ridiculous. That is just unbelievable. I couldn't do that buying my own assets. What a special human being Warren Buffett is. But for you, going through your employer to have a 100% return instantly, that is ridiculous. Warren Buffett would snap your hand off for returns like that. The greatest investor of all time would snap your hand off for returns like that. So you have to increase your pension contribution to match your employer if you can. If your employer says you're already at your match, we don't increase it whatsoever, then at least you now know that is it. I've gone, I cannot express to you enough. You may think that this is boring, unexciting stuff, but this is the thing that will change your life forever. It's a few clicks on a mouse, usually, or a phone call to your boss or your HR department to change your contribution limit, and that's it. We're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds, depending on your role. It could even be millions of pounds that you could create from a few clicks or speaking to your boss or a phone call. I mean, ridiculous. We're talking ridiculous gains. So this is, I've gone on for nearly 7 minutes about this. It's just so important. So you must make that change. If you can't do it now, set relentless reminders for you to remind you to make that change. Anytime you start a new job, make sure that's one of the first questions that you ask. What is the maximum limit that you will match my contributions, and increase it straight away? Extremely important. Okay, I'm going to take a breath because this has been a bit overwhelming, this one. Very dramatic, but that's how important it is. So hopefully I got that message through to you that you should absolutely do this without delay.